Hello, YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan. Good evening. Right now, the time is approximately 9 p.m. and 8 minutes Eastern Time, and the date is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. In the United States and its territories, it is Election Day. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did vote. I went later than I would have preferred, but it was calm. There was no nonsense, no bullshit. It was like everything was organized, everything was fine, and did what I needed to do, ran my errands afterwards, and then I came back home. And there you go. Anyway, so this is WEDIN. Witching every day in November. Hashtag WEDIN. Try that again. Hashtag WEDIN. WEDIN. And of course, thank you once again to Ember HoneyRaven, the big fat witch, for coming up with this fantastic idea. And you know, it's funny because it's not a tarot challenge, it's not a tag. It's just like, I have this really fun, cool idea. Come along, y'all, and play along, y'all, and here we are. So this is WEDIN number 5, or rather WEDIN day 5, the element of fire, which is why I'm wearing this bright, blazing red shirt, and I'm wearing a scarf that has become one of my favorites over the years. In magical traditions, Tuesday is the day of Mars, and on a day of Mars, red or healing pink are ideal colors to wear or use, whether you're wearing them as an outfit or whether you're wearing them as accessories or using them as clothing or accessories. They could even be undergarments. They could be crystals. They could be herbs. They could be flowers. There are so many ways to work with a color's energy. But yes, so I wanted to talk about the element of fire, the element of will and passion. Fire is about sexual energy. It's also about spiritual energy. I've always found it fascinating that to the American Tarot Association, the suit of wands, which traditionally corresponds to the element of fire, and naturally to the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, have to do with the spiritual, the psychic, the mystical, the metaphysical, the magical. So when it comes to wands, when it comes to the element of fire, rather, will, passion, sexual energy, spiritual energy, physical activity, motivation, courage, get up and go, stick-to-itiveness, intensity, assertiveness, although aggressiveness would be indicated by the element of fire, but aggressiveness doesn't have to be utilized. And if you don't feel comfortable with being aggressive, what about being assertive? You can actually work with the element of fire to become more assertive, to bolster or move forward your self-love, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-worth, and to remember to empower your self-care, because the element of fire for me is also about personal empowerment, as well as societal, community, global, etc. Empowerment. I also love the element of fire because it also has these hot colors, these warm tones, like red, orange, yellow. Technically, even white is a fire color because think about the term white hot as opposed to red hot. It's like white hot, it's so super white. It went beyond red, now it's white. So, white hot is also, so technically white could be considered or worked with as a fire energy symbol, or as a representation, rather, that's more accurate, a representation of fire energy. And then, of course, how can I talk about fire and not talk about candles? Candles are probably the penultimate sacred tool that corresponds to the element of fire, and how natural it is for a witch to have a candle. I remember a few years ago there was a blackout that had affected my area, and my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, who is also a fellow witch, and I were commenting about how we have plenty of candles for this. We were ready, man. I think we had candles for, if the blackout had lasted a few more days longer than it had, I think we would have had candles for that and then some. And it's funny because I always make sure to buy tea light candles and votive candles, and even those little jar candles in the little glass container, which I guess are votive candles, but I think they have a different name. By the way, I don't know about you, but I almost said y'all, listen to me. I don't know about you, but I definitely miss seeing actual candles in a restaurant. I really do. I went to a restaurant in Manhattan last night, and I remember, and it was we actually got to dine indoors, which was really wild. I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to dine indoors. Um, and yes, I did keep my mask on until the first beverage was brought to my table, or rather to the person with whom I was having dinner, to our table. But I did not take off my mask until the first course was served. I felt much more comfortable that way. And I'm sure a lot of other people too did as well, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was thinking about what's going to like really give me peace of mind. So, but all that being said, so I remember I looked at one of the jars on the table, and it was this beautiful golden bronze color, and it had like these kind of facets as part of the design. And I looked inside, and I saw this like really dim looking candle. I mean, it was one of those like electronic candles, or that you have the battery, and I'm like, it's not the same. I mean, it's less of a safety hazard, but it's just not the same. Real candles are what do it for me. And it's so funny because I have not even made the time to light more candles in my home lately. And that's probably because there's plenty of light, especially in the daytime. Um, you know, I have plenty of lighting in the area, so it's like there's a lot going on. But I will tell you, I love candles. I really love candles. Another way to work with the element of fire, especially in nature, is on a bright, sunny, warm day. If you want to do some sun magic, let's say, for example, definitely when the sun is a Leo. And of course, you know, working with the planet of Mars to become more courageous, to become more energized, to increase your physical stamina, to be more courageous and bold in a lot of major life choices that you're ready to make or that you're moving in the direction of making happen. Tuesday, during the day, work with that Mars energy to like push you forward, not to compel you, but to impel you to like say, you can do this, you got this, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And Mars energy and fire energy is about, come on, right now, right now, right now. So if you want like slow and easy, fire is not the element with which to work. Anyway, so how do you work with the element of fire? What does the element of fire symbolize for you? How do you make fire part of your magical practice? I look forward to reading your answers in the comments. And thank you again, Ember HoneyRaven, for creating such a phenomenal, fantastic, and juicy YouTube tag-along. I'm calling them YouTube tag-alongs now. I wish all of you many blessings. I thank you in advance for your likes, for your comments, for your shares, for those of you who are going to become my YouTube channel subscribers. And as always, please remember to schedule your sessions with me. I actually am meeting with a new client in 2 days, and she was a bit taken aback at how booked up I am. And I said, it always happens from September through to the following February. It is the most abundantly full-time period for my professional psychic practice. And it's like, yeah, schedule that session ASAP and stat. Otherwise, you run the risk of somebody taking your preferred date and time away from you and not even knowing about you to do it. So schedule your sessions as well. I wish all of you many peaceful and prosperous blessings. I wish all of you all the will and passion to make all of your desires and dreams come true or better. And good night, and stay tuned for the next video.